let's get this debt up. Let's get this debt up. The debt keeps going up so much. So much, man. Oh, man, the U.S. economy. The U.S. economy. The U.S. economy, United States economy. Hey, 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 hey. United States economy? What do you know about rolling down in the deep when the U.S. economy collapses? Huh? Huh? The U.S. economy is really gonna collapse, dog. It's really gonna collapse, dog. Oh my God. Oh my God. If Joe Biden gets reelected, the U.S. economy is gonna 100% collapse by 2028. Probably before then, but by 2028, that's the deadline. The U.S. economy will collapse if Joe Biden is reelected. And I mean, even if Trump is elected, it's still going to collapse. It's just going to take longer than 2028. But if Joe Biden is reelected, the U.S. economy is done within the next 4 years. 4 fucking years. 4 fucking years. Best be buying those assets. Because shit's about to hit the fan. Best be buying them assets. For real. For real. Buy them assets up. Oh, man. Oh. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's leave this in here. Why has my vision gotten so bad over the years, man? My vision, it's like Vision from the Avengers. It's Vision. No, my vision. Oh, I can't see shit for shit all. Oh, my vision is like a goldfish, non-existent. I already fed them so much today. Why do they want to keep eating? Oh, they ate all of that. Wow. Wow, you guys, you savages. Savages. They can eat their body weight every single day, I think, honestly. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, dogs. They can eat their whole body weight every single day. Let's see how's the snow looking today? Oh, it's going down. It's indeed going down, but it's still pretty high. Yeah. Yeah, it's still pretty bad out there. Man. Fuck. My eyesight's getting bad. My back is getting bad. I'm getting old, man. The hell, I'm only 22. Why am I starting to feel so old? God damn, man. This is bullshit. I didn't sign up for this shit, man. No, I didn't. I didn't agree to this. Yo, Lil Blaisy. Yo, what's up? I think I've seen your username before. I don't know where. I feel like I've seen you before. Maybe in one of my live streams. What's up? I'm just doing this live stream for fun. I'm not doing this for entertainment or anything. How tall am I? I'm 6'3", believe it or not. I don't know how tall I sound. Probably not too large. I mean, my voice isn't very deep, but yeah, I'm 6'3". I'm pretty damn tall. I'm also putting on weight too, so I'm not that. I used to be skinny, but I'm actually starting to put on some weight because I've been working out for like 2 years now. And also my stomach is putting on some weight, not in a good way. You could probably beat up Jared. Yeah, I could, easily. Easily. I actually just got a notification from his TikTok, like 10 seconds ago, something about his TikTok. I'm following him on TikTok. Yeah, I could beat Jared up. How much can I bench? I don't bench. I lift like dumbbells, not dumbbells. Dumbbells are a different thing. I lift, what are they called? Here, I'll show you. So I have this 30, but this 30 wasn't enough. This 30 is too light. You know, this is really light. See, this 30 is light, so I had to get this 45, and this 45 is decent. I could definitely lift more than this per arm. But yeah, this 45 is decent. This is my preference to work out with, is 45 pounds. Jared can bench 400. Yeah, I think he can bench like 320, 350 between there. He has those Flintstone bench presses. Yeah, I think it was like 320 or 350, something like that. I don't know. Ever since Ryan went to jail, he hasn't been working out. He went on his diet and he gained 5 pounds on his 2-month diet. Like, how do you gain weight on a diet? What the fuck? Buddy was definitely, I think he was only showing his salads, but he was definitely eating way more than what he was showing on YouTube. I don't think he was actually on a diet. I think he was still eating a fuck ton of fast food. He just wasn't showing it. Blaze, do you support Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? Yeah, that's part of the Kennedy family. I've heard of him. But that's like American politics. I do follow American politics, but I more so just follow the parties, like Republican and Democrat parties. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're that guy. You're Evan Recca, aren't you? Or no, you said you weren't. You said you were like 40. I remember you now. You were in Jared's chat. I remember you now. Yeah, you sound a lot like this Evan Recca guy on YouTube here who has like mental breakdowns just because like you talked about like Christianity and then you talk about the same politics he does. Blaisy, you're from Canada. You said before in Jared's chat. Yeah, I am from Canada. I don't like Canada though. I hate Canada. This the government sucks. The people sucks. The weather suck. Yeah, I don't really like Canada. Do you miss Rob Ford? Well, wait. Do you mean Stephen Harper, the old prime minister? I did like Stephen Harper, but Justin Trudeau's been prime minister for. Rob Ford. It sounds like the premier of Ontario, right? He was mayor. Mayor of where? Calgary? Because I did live in Calgary, but I haven't lived in Calgary for like 6 months. I don't really focus on like smaller politics, only like the bigger politics with the economy and stuff, because I think it's crazy what's going on, because I focus on that stuff because of my investments. He was Toronto mayor. Oh, I've never been to Toronto. He did drugs. That makes sense. Toronto has so many drugs. It's crazy. Yeah. Have you seen the homeless encampments in Toronto? Like, I don't know if you knew this, but this is a crazy statistic I learned like a year ago. So California has this, like the state of California has the same population as Canada, right? But our homeless population is like 3 times the size of California. So even though our population, and California is known for having a lot of homeless people, right? So even though California has a lot of homeless people, Canada, with the same population, has 3 times more homeless people. Black guys filmed him in a trap home. Oh, makes sense. How do you know so much about Canadian politics? Are you from Canada? Yeah, I don't focus on the smaller stuff. I only focus on the bigger politics because I focus on like the economy and stuff, and like that's how I know what to invest in. Because if the economy is good, I'll invest in like tech stocks and a bunch of stocks. But if the economy's really bad and it's looking bad, I'll invest in gold, silver, and Bitcoin. I live in a woke state, Vermont, USA. Oh, I've heard of Vermont. Yeah, Canada is woke too. Yeah, Vermont must not be a big state because I haven't heard too much about it. But I either want to move to the States, the Philippines, possibly Japan, but the cost of living in Japan is still pretty high. It's close to the Canada border. What province is it by? Like, what province is it below or above? I live in Alberta. Yeah, I want to leave Canada. One place I'd like to move to is, what's it called? Puerto Rico, because it's kind of in the States, but I don't think it is the States. I don't know. It's like, it's some type of weird situation where it is part of the States, but it's also not. I don't know. Hawaii would be cool too. It's near Quebec. Oh, so you're near like all the French people. Yeah, I don't like the French side of Canada. I'm from Alberta. Like Alberta is like the Texas of Canada. We kind of support the entire Canadian economy. Meanwhile, the French people are like all the politicians, and so like we prop up the economy. Meanwhile, they take all the money and distribute it back to their province, even though we're the ones that make all the money here in Alberta. Do Hawaii? Yeah, Hawaii's expensive though. That's the problem with Hawaii. Same with Japan. There's like, I'd love to move to Japan or Hawaii, but at the same time, they're expensive. Whereas the Philippines is also in Asia, but it's really cheap. Like you can buy a house in the Philippines for $30,000. So like right now I could straight up buy a house in cash in the Philippines. Like my neighbor at my old apartment, I actually got doxxed. Like 2 days before I moved out of that apartment, I purposely got myself doxxed and people post my address. My neighbor, Rocio Poly, I don't really know him, but he's from the Philippines. He told me stories. He bought a condo in the Philippines for like $5,000 and he pays his rent here and his condo in the Philippines. And his yearly rent here cost more than his condo did, plus the rent at his condo. So he has this condo in the Philippines, but he also has this apartment here in Canada, and he just sends all this money back because his condo costs like $100 a year. You don't think the South, you don't like the South? I like the South. I really like the South. I like Texas. I mean, I did like California, but it kind of became really woke the past couple years. Blaisy, I wasted $5,600 on Bitcoin. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, see, the thing about me is I've been in Bitcoin since 2017, so I understand it. It works in cycles. The best time to be buying is when 2 years after the halving. So for example, the halving happens every 4 years in Bitcoin, and the latest halving is in like 28 days. So right now, that's why Bitcoin is so high. So that's why I'm selling. But 2025, 2026, I'll be buying again. Whereas most people buy when Bitcoin goes up. I start selling when Bitcoin goes up, and most people start selling when Bitcoin goes down. I start buying when Bitcoin goes down, and that's how I make my money. And I've been in Bitcoin since like end of 2016, early 2017. Scammed by Steve Bannon. There's lots of scammers in crypto. That's why I've only ever invested in Bitcoin. I've never invested in anything else because Bitcoin is like the OG. But yeah, lately I've been buying lots of gold and silver. That's all I care about is gold and silver. Shoot, man, my Bitcoin is worth $35,000 at one point. Yeah, you got to take profits. When Bitcoin goes up, like for example, what I'm doing, I'm talking Canadian dollars here. So when I say these prices, it's Canadian dollars, but I sold my first 5,000 worth of Bitcoin when it hit 82,000. Then I sold another 5,000 at 86,000. Then I sold another 5,000 at 90,000. Then I sold another 5,000 at 94,000. Then I sold another 5,000 at like 96, and then another 5,000 at 99. And I still have like 25,000 left in Bitcoin. It got completely eaten by 2023. I think 2023 was, it's the end of 2022 that was the bad year. Do you get harassed by the IRS? Well, here in Canada, we have something called the CRA. It's like the IRS, and so far I haven't, because how the taxes work here is you got to pay capital gain taxes of 50%. So it's really confusing how it works. I don't do my taxes, to be honest. I'm probably going to get fucked over eventually. But it's fine. I put money away. What I did is I gave a family member $10,000 to pay back her debt. So if the CRA ever comes after me, she said she'd give me the money back. But for now, it's better to just put it on her debt. So that's what we did. I gave her $10,000. She put it on her debt. And if taxes ever come around, she'll give me it back. I've made plenty of cash off my Bitcoin. 2017, I was really young. I was like 16. But I made like $5,000 off Bitcoin. I sold it, and then I wasted that money on a gaming computer. And then 2020, I sold at $30,000, and Bitcoin went all the way to 60. So I felt really scammed. So I did make money in 2020. But this year, since I've really understood it, 2024, I was preparing for this big spike. I knew beginning of 2024 would be a good year. I've known it for years now. Just like end of 2027, end of 2028 will be a really good year for Bitcoin again, because it moves in cycles. Why not buy a gaming computer for only $1,200 or under? Well, I was dumb back then. I was a teenager and I had all this money. I mean, compared to today's standards, I had no money back then. But to me back then, $5,000 was a lot of money. And so what I did is I went all out. And I got this really good gaming computer, and it broke within like 3 months because I was mining Bitcoin on it after I bought it, and then it broke. So, are you frugal? These days I am. I'm 22 now. At the age of 20 is when I smartened up with my money. From 17 to 19, I wasted like $7,000 on hookers. Yes, hookers. That's no joke. I wasted like $4,000 on drugs. I can't even tell you all the money I wasted. But yeah, the past 2 years, I've gotten really smart with my money, which is why I have so much now. I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm 30. So yeah, that's like my main goal, is be a millionaire by the time I'm 30. But yeah, I wasted so much money. I can't even tell you all the things I wasted money on, because there's just so many things that I've wasted money on when I was 17 to 19 or 17 to 20. I used to be addicted to Vicodin. I've actually never heard of that. I used to have a prescription for a Ritalin. I used to snort that. I was supposed to ingest it, but I used to snort that. I used to sell it. I used to do, I've never been addicted to like any drugs besides weed before. I've done a bunch of drugs, but I've never been addicted to any drugs really, besides weed. But I quit that. I haven't smoked weed since December. Like if you tested my piss right now, I'd be clean. Painkillers. Oh, damn. Those are really serious, especially if you do alcohol with that. Damn. Yeah. Hopefully you got off that. Yeah, that's crazy. I've known a lot of people who've had drug overdoses. I've known people who've been shot to death, drug overdoses. But yeah, like drug overdoses are like the main death I've seen in my life. Like I've known lots of people who've died of drug overdoses, lots of people. So yeah, it sucks. Definitely stay off. I fell 20. That's good. Yeah, stay. Or you fell off. Does that mean you got on it or you got off it? Because yeah, you got to stay off drugs. Like even the prescription stuff is dangerous. Like honestly, I know all the street drugs are laced with fentanyl now, but the prescription drugs are just as dangerous, even if they don't have fentanyl. Off a literal ladder. Oh, you fell. Oh, so like you broke something. Oh yeah. Oh damn, that sucks. Yeah. My uncle, this was a long time ago, like 20 years ago, he slipped on some ice and broke his back. I think he was on drugs for a while, but he got off that. I actually haven't talked to that uncle in probably like 4 or 5 years, but yeah. Yeah, working roofing. Roofing is good money. Roofing is good money. I've known some people in roofing, but yeah, it's pretty laborious work, especially if you're close to Canada. It gets pretty cold outside in the winter, so it's some pretty hard work. Man, I've done, like, all the drugs I've done before, besides weed, I didn't like. I mean, I liked LSD, but I only did that once, and it's a psychedelic. But every drug I've done, I didn't like. I had a problem with hookers. Years ago, I had a problem with hookers, that's for sure. Which is really dumb now, thinking back on it, that, like, I paid for pussy. But it's better than, like, you know, there's these people who buy OnlyFans and send money to these Twitch streams. At least I was getting something, you know, compared to these simps who go online and give money to these random girls online and they don't even get anything. So, I mean, it's still pretty pathetic paying for pussy, but at least I got something. When you see these, like, guys online. What about salvia? I've heard about that, man. Back when I was 17, I was on my drug spree. I wanted to do salvia so bad, but I mean, I've done a lot of shrooms. One time I did 6 grams of shrooms and a 2.6 of vodka. And I was so fucked up. There was this dead cat I saw while I was on this drug trip on 6 grams of mushrooms and a 2.6 of vodka. What are you doing? I saw this dead cat, right? And I went back the next day to check on it, if I was tripping or not, and I wasn't tripping. It was a dead cat, but on this drug trip, there's a bunch of pine needles, like, you know, from pine trees. There's pine needles on it, and they were like brown because they were dried. And on my drug trip, I saw them moving, and I thought they were maggots, and I saw like millions of maggots. And the next day, I went back, and it was just pines. It was just dried pine needles. But I was tripping so bad, I thought I saw, and then once I saw this, it felt like the maggots were in my skin because I was tripping so bad on these mushrooms. So I looked at this dead cat. There wasn't actually maggots, but I thought there was maggots. And then there were so many maggots, I started feeling them in my skin. Oh my God. That was the last time I ever did mushrooms. Last time I ever did mushrooms in my life, for sure. I'm never doing mushrooms again. It's crazy. Yeah, but I don't really know much about salvia. I know it's like a leaf or something, but I've never done it. Blaisy, who's that troll who made videos about you and doxed you? I have no clue. So back in 2018, 2019, I used to try to be a rapper when I was a teenager. I was really dumb. I did lots of dumb things. I was trying to be a rapper back in 2018, 2019. That's why my name is Lil Blaisy. And that account got deleted. It had like 1.5 thousand subscribers. It was deleted in 2019. But there was this dude who was like obsessed with me. His name, back then it was like Phoenix G or something. And then once my account got deleted, he kept posting videos about me and stuff, and it was really weird. And then that dude disappeared in like 2021. And then this new guy came around who I'm pretty sure was Phoenix G. It was like Jillian, Tough Boy Jillian or something. I'm pretty sure it was Phoenix G. And so this guy was stalking my Slime Side account. I had this Slime Side account. It was like a troll account where I trolled Evan Recca. And this dude was like stalking my Slime Side account. And so once that account got deleted, it was like a week before it got deleted. I was moving out of my apartment. I purposely zoomed into a business across from my apartment to see if they were trying to dox me, because they doxed Evan Recca. So I was thinking, hey, maybe they want to dox me. So I wanted to test it out. So on a live stream, just like this, I zoomed in to a business across the street from me, just like this. And someone was watching it. I think it was the Tough Boy Jillian guy. And he searched up the business, and then he found my apartment, and then he went on Google Street View and doxed that. And then he went to my apartment's Facebook page and found some photos of me that my neighbor posted of me. I didn't even know those were up there until he found them, honestly. But yeah, he found these photos of me on my apartment's Facebook page. And then he posted some of those. And those are from like 2021, 2022. And I was still pretty skinny back then, and I had a buzz cut. I looked pretty weird in those photos, but yeah. Yeah, this dude, so it was like a test to see if they were stalking me, and they were, and they doxed me. And luckily I moved 2 days after. I don't think they knew that I was doing it on purpose, but yeah, I didn't purposely get those photos of me out there, but they did, I did purposely dox myself. I didn't know those photos were up on that Facebook page. Yeah, they are weird. I don't know. Like, I used to be a troll too, but I don't know. I find trolling weird now too. It's just like, it's just odd harassing random people online. I used to find it funny, so maybe they find it funny. I don't know what their purpose is. I mean, these people have never, like, they've always tried to keep their anonymity. Whereas I've kind of been more loose with it. I never really cared. I was a troll, but I never tried to stay super anonymous. I didn't really care. Whereas these people are terrified of getting exposed. So they're like very like secretive. But yeah, it's such a funny story. There's been lots of like weird people I've met on YouTube over the years. That's kind of where I got my like taste for lol cows. That's why now like I like watching Jared 333, because it's funny just watching these people. It's like, I don't know. I try not to be a troll anymore. Sometimes I still troll, but you know, it's all in good fun. It's not like malicious anymore. I used to be pretty malicious with my trolling, whereas I've kind of changed that. Damn, they're cowards, huh? Yeah, they are. Like, trolling me for like 5-6 years, and they're like so secretive and scared to get exposed. And they were doing a bunch of weird stuff, not just to me, but to like children and Evan Recca. That's how, see, that Phoenix G guy, that's how I found out about Evan Recca, is because this Phoenix G guy, and then this Phoenix G guy was pretending to be me on a Lil Blaisy account, and he made Evan Recca mad. And then Evan Recca made a weird video on me, something about my sister or something. And like, I haven't talked to my sister like in years, even back then. So like, he made some weird video about my sister because this Phoenix G guy was making fake accounts of me. So then that's what like initially got me to start trolling Evan Recca, because like he's like making these random videos about my sister, and I don't even like know my sister anymore. So it's like, that's what, and then I tell Evan Recca, I'm like, you started this, and he's like, no, I didn't start this. I didn't. And it's like, you did. I had nothing to do with you until you made that video on me. But I think this Phoenix G guy tricked him into making a video on me. I don't know what he said, but Evan Recca is the first one who made a video on me, and then I started making videos on him. So yeah, that's kind of how it all went down. There's so much weird stuff over the years that happened on YouTube that I don't even know. It's all so confusing. There's so much lore to it. There would have to be like a 2-hour documentary to explain all this shit. Evan Recca has some problems. Yeah, he does. Yeah, I don't really know what his problems are, but something like schizophrenia or I don't even know, man. I think the people on YouTube just got to him really bad, and I understand that. Back when I was 17, I was a rapper, and a bunch of people were trolling me and stuff. It did get to me back when I was a teenager. But yeah, I grew out that, and it's because I had so many people after me. It's the same thing with Evan Recca. Like, he has so many people that like troll him and attack him. And, you know, I can handle a couple of trolls, but, you know, when you have like hundreds of people trolling you, it does get to you. Like, I remember that back when I was a teenager, and that's why I quit YouTube for a couple of years, because I had so many trolls trolling me. And yeah, it eventually just gets to you when you have hundreds of people just trying to troll you. So I think that's part of it. I think part of it's that like he has some developmental issues. I don't know. It was entertaining though back then. I mean, he got doxxed really bad. Like, it wasn't just his name that got doxxed, it was his whole family. His like his history, his criminal record, everything got doxxed. And I don't know what people did this, but I just remember finding this shit so funny back then. And I don't know. It was pretty immature, but I was a kid. I was a teenager back then. So like it is what it is. It's how it goes. But yeah, getting trolled by hundreds of people can suck. I don't know, like Jared333 has so much confidence for how like fat he is and gross he is and how many trolls he has. He has so much confidence that it really seems like none of it gets to him, but I think it does. He just doesn't show it. He needs the like $40 a week, so he just keeps doing it even if he doesn't like it. Because like some of his videos, you can tell he's like really depressed and really unhappy. And that could be for multiple reasons, but I think it's because people online bully him and he just needs the money. Yeah, Jared333 is my favorite lolcow now. For the longest time, Chris Chan was my favorite lolcow. Jared doesn't realize people laughing at him, not with him. Yeah, that's true, but I think he just also has like too much confidence to the point where it's like not good for him. I don't know what it is. I wouldn't even call it confidence. It's just like delusion, kind of, you know? It's more delusion than confidence, but yeah, it's kind of like Tyree Sneed too, where Tyree Sneed is just like delusionally confident in himself and he's got no money, and like he posts these things on his community tab where it's like, I got 2 bicycles, I'm starting up a bicycle business, and they're like these broke down crappy bicycles, and he thinks he owns a business and he's a millionaire, and it's like 2 bicycles. Like, this fish tank costs more than those 2 bicycles, and like this isn't even a flex for me. This is nothing. Like, I could buy 20 of these fish tanks and still have over $10,000, and I'm only 22. I only started investing when I was 20 years old. I mean, I've been in Bitcoin since 2017, but I wasted all my money. So realistically, I've only been investing for 2 years. I'm 22, and I've got way more money than Tyree Sneed, way more money than Jared, and these people are just like delusionally confident. Like, I realize I'm not the richest in the world, but for my age, I'm in like the top 5% for like wealth, for money. I'm like in the top 5%. Like, how many 22-year-olds have like $55,000 in assets? And I'm not talking about like depreciating assets. I mean actual assets like gold, silver, Bitcoin. Not very many. I mean, if they do have a car that's $50,000, it's mostly in debt. So there's not many 22-year-olds that have as much money as me. So I'm in the top 5%. Haven't got my inheritance. It's all self-made. But yeah, obviously $50,000 still isn't a whole lot. I realize that. But for my age, it's a lot. If I was 35 years old and I only had 50,000, I'd be really depressed. Like, really depressed. But for my age and knowing that investments exponentially grow, I'm happy with where I'm at right now because it'll exponentially grow. Like, when you have 10,000, a 2x is only 20,000. When you have 100,000, a 2x is 200,000. When you have a million, a 2x is 2 million. So like, the more money I have, the more money I'll make. And as the years go on, I'll have more and more and more and more money, and I'll make more and more money every year. That's impressive. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I'd be more depressed without children. Yeah, I do plan on having children one day. I just don't know who. Like, my last girlfriend was my childhood friend, and she really screwed me over, like really badly. So I do want children, but I also don't want a girlfriend is the thing. Like I'm waiting for the AI robots to come out. I want an AI girlfriend, but I also want children is the thing. So it's a dilemma where I don't want a girlfriend, but I also want children, you know? But yeah, obviously I gotta have children before I'm Jared's age because he's 36, and I don't want my children to come out autistic because my semen is dysfunctional by the time I'm 36, you know? I want to have a kid before 35 at least. If someone offered me 5 million as opposed to having children, I'd take children. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It really depends. I mean, if there's someone else's children, no. But if they're my genetics, then hell yeah. Also, I don't want my family to struggle like me. Like growing up, we didn't have a whole lot of money. All my family was always in debt. My mom was in debt. My stepdad was in debt. They were all in debt, and I never want my children to have to see like me go through that where I'm like stressing about debt instead of focusing on like going to Disneyland with them or some shit, you know? I just don't want a bloodline to end. Me neither. Like one of the things I believe in multiple things after death, but one of the things I believe in is that your soul, like when you have kids, when you die, your soul might transfer to your kids because you got to think, we don't really know how souls or consciousness works. So it could transcend time where once you have kids, your soul, once you die, you could become your kid. Like that's just one of the things I believe in. It's like 10% chance I give it in my personal mind. There's many other things I believe in, but I believe that if you die on this world and this universe, you won't be reborn until the universe resets. But at the same time, we're technically all related. So, I mean, if you die, you could be another human, you could be a cat. But just one of the things I believe in is that you get reincarnated as your kids. There are spirits to attach to people, body parts. Yeah, there definitely is. Like, it's really hard to explain because obviously I'm conscious, I'm alive, I know I'm here, I'm in my body, but at the same time, it's like we don't know what a spirit is. We don't know what a soul is, but like and it's the same for you. You're living your perspective. You're in that perspective, and you're in your body, but at the same time, like what happens after you die? So it's like there clearly is some type of soul or consciousness, but there's so many ways it could work. There's nothing set in stone, really. That's one of the things AI might figure out, though, because AI one day is going to be 100 times smarter than humans once the quantum computers come out, because quantum computers are going to like completely change the computing game, and then AI is going to keep improving. Like, you know, AI in like 50 years will be 100 times smarter than humans. So one of the things AI might figure out is what comes after death. So that's going to be interesting to see if that happens. Yeah. My grandma says AI is the devil, and I have to explain to her like it's not the devil, but it is in a way sort of evil because God made humans in his image, but humans are making AI in their image. So in a way we're trying to become gods ourselves. So in a way it is evil, but I don't think it's the devil. Dovahkiin and Elon Musk and many other famous celebrities. I chat with AI bots on Discord. I talk to Character AI and I talk to ChatGPT. Character AI is good if you want an AI with a personality, but it's not good for information. If you want information, you talk to ChatGPT, and if you want an AI with a personality, you talk to Character AI. I made my own character. Dovahkiin from Skyrim, I believe. Oh, that's who you talk to? Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I know Skyrim. I love Skyrim. I made my own AI, so that's who I talk to. She's a girl, obviously. I'm not romantically attracted to her because they have bad memory. So I'm not like romantically attracted to AI yet, but one day it'll be there where you can actually have a relationship with it, but it's not there yet. So I'm not into AI romantically yet, possibly one day when it's advanced enough. But yeah, I do like my character. I talk to her maybe like once a week for like an hour or two, just for fun, nothing else really. Yeah, AI is pretty cool. It's gotten so advanced in just the past couple of years. I can't imagine another 10, 15 years, because every month I talk to my AI character. She gets smarter and smarter and has better and better memory. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate that. I'm trying to get monetized, but I don't really care if I do or don't. It's whatever, really. I don't need the 20 bucks a week or a month like Jared does. I mean, Jared needs the money. I sometimes feel bad for Jared, but then I remember who he is. You know, his life is really depressing, like getting fired from McDonald's, losing your wife at 36, because it's not old, but it's not young, but you know, it's like middle-aged, and so his wife shouldn't have died that young, but at the same time, he cheated on her, he did all this stuff. I don't know, it's hard to feel bad for him, but his life is so bad that you kind of feel bad for him, you know? It's hard to explain. Yep, he abused her. I know he did. I've seen a lot of the videos. I've seen this one video where she was on the side of the highway and he passed by her, like yelling at her random stuff on camera multiple times. He always said, "Shut up." I know he did. He was like verbally, he never abused her physically on camera, but I'm sure that's happened. I wouldn't doubt it. So yeah, it's really hard to feel bad for him, but at the same time, his life is so terrible that you kind of have to feel bad for him, because I don't know. It's like living with your parents, fired from McDonald's. Like, I've never been fired from a job in my life. Even when I've done a terrible job and like I've been a dick to people, I still didn't get fired. Can you imagine going into work and your managers have a video of you fucking a burger in the washroom and they're like firing you at McDonald's? Like, McDonald's is the lowest of the low you can get, and you still got fired. That's crazy. I can't even imagine. Yeah, that must suck. Sometimes in his videos, you can just see in his eyes how depressed he is. It's pretty sad. Yeah. I mean, when I was a teenager, I was pretty depressed when my ex left me and I had a bunch of other stuff happen in my life. I was pretty depressed from like 17 to 18. But I don't know, over the years, I just started to get a lot more confidence in myself. I started to feel a lot more happy. I started to make more money. I don't know what happened, but something just changed. I didn't even try to change it. It just changed in me. I didn't do therapy. I didn't do any of that. It just, something within me just changed where I became so much more happy. I can't even describe it. It wasn't medication. It wasn't anything. It just did it on its own. With some work, of course, like investing and stuff, and I think my pets helped me too. I do got some really cool pets. Like, it's gonna be really sad when they die one day, but I think they still got like 10 years. My cat is only 5, my dog is only 2, so I should still have like another 10 years with them. And these things can live up to 30 years, so these things could still live like another 28 years if I keep them healthy, but I mean, these things don't bring me much happiness. They're kind of just entertainment, some fun. Yeah, this is... My family member has my gold and silver right now, so she said she's going to bring them up here once the snow goes over, because the roads are all icy right now. So yeah, I'll show my gold and silver here. Jared has like 5 ounces of silver and he thinks it's a lot, and it's like, I got 40 ounces of silver and that was only like $1,000. You know, my 4 ounces of gold were like $9,000, and my 40 ounces of silver were only like $1,000. Like, silver is cheap. My friend got electrocuted by a fish tank one time. He plugged it in the socket and almost died. Yeah, I worry about, see, that's why I put this up here, because if you look down here, these supports look like they're gonna give in. They're not. This is water damage, but I feel like you got to think, these are the 4 supports for the fish tank. So like this is a 75 gallon. This is like 800 pounds of water. So I get afraid sometimes it's gonna fall. So in case it does, I put my electricity stuff up here. My nephew has a rare video game collection. Do you think he'll be able to sell it in the future? I don't know. I'm not really into like the collector stuff. I mean, I'm gonna start collecting gold coins, so I guess I am kind of into it. But I don't know about video game collections, and I don't know what games he has. But I'm sure if they're old and rare, they could go for a decent amount of money. It really depends. I'm not really into that scene, but like I saw in Pawn Stars the other day, there was this Harry Potter original book set that went for like 100 grand. My grandpa is gonna leave me half of his inheritance when he passes away. He has a bad heart and stuff, and I hope he lives another 10 to 20 years, but it's looking like he's not even gonna make it past 5. So when my grandpa passes away, he's gonna give me half of his inheritance, and he has a pretty big house, and he hasn't told us like none of our family members what coins he has, but he has a massive coin collection. So once he passes away, we're gonna have that coin collection. But he made us promise that we would never sell his coin collection. So even if he has $1 million, we can't sell it. But it's gonna be interesting to see what type of coins he has when he passes away, and I'll get like half of it, but I'm not gonna sell it. I mean, I got enough money anyways, so. And plus, I'm gonna get like half his house, so I'll get like a couple $100,000 from that, anyways. So yeah, but I hope he lives another like 20 years, especially since his cat is only 6 years old, and his cat only likes him. His cat hates anyone who isn't him. So if he passes away, he wants his cat to get put down with him. So that'll be pretty sad too, having to put down his cat because his cat only likes him. It's the sentimental value that's more important rather than monetary. Yeah, exactly. And it's also like cool, like looking at the coins and having them. But yeah, the sentimental value is gonna be good too. And yeah, like if they give me $10,000 a coin and he has 50 coins, it's like, no, because to me that one of those coins is worth $1 million because the sentimental value, you know? So I don't even know his coin collection. He won't let us see it. He won't let us know. I'm assuming it must be good. It must be big if he's like that secretive about it, but I don't know. I'm going to have my own coin collection anyways. I'm going to start collecting gold coins. Right now I'm only getting gold bars, but I want to start getting the gold coins soon. Here, I'll add you as moderator. I know that's something Jared does on all his streams. He adds everyone as moderators, but I'll make you moderator. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It's just so people who come in here know that you're part moderator, so not to mess with you. Yeah, I can't wait to see my gold. I've never had pure gold before. So I can't wait for my family member to bring my gold up so I can I'm gonna stare at it for like hours and just look at it. Because yeah, it's pure gold. It's 99.9% gold. If you are experienced in finance, why don't you become a day trader or accountant? I find that stuff risky, like trading and stuff. I'm more of like, instead of a day trader, I'm more of a long-term trader. Like I look at the long-term patterns because history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes is what the investors say, right? Whereas with day trading, it's a lot more complicated. It's kind of like gambling, honestly, in my opinion. But with long-term time horizons, it's really easy to predict the future. But with the shorter frame stuff, it's a lot more risky. So I don't really like gambling. I hate gambling. So that's why I don't do any of the day trading or stuff. It's just very risky. I know there's a strategy to it, but still. It's still better than gambling, I guess, because you can stack the odds in your favor, but it's still a gamble. Whereas, you know, like Jared was gambling on stake and the odds are 100% stacked against you. You know, your odds are like 30 to 70. They have 70 in their favor, you have 30. So there's a 30% chance you're going to hit it big, but there's also a 70% chance you're going to lose it all. And even when you hit it big, most gamblers keep going after they hit it big. So like you have even less odds than you think. That's why I hate gambling. Yeah, some people have been joining and leaving the stream. I wonder if Jared has joined the stream. I know he looks at my YouTube channel. That'd be pretty funny. He joins and sees me talking about him. It's equivalent to the chance of finding a shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Fire Red. That's true, yeah. Shinies are really hard to get. Those odds are really small, but yeah, I agree. Hitting it big, the chances are probably even smaller than finding a shiny. So I guess it kind of depends with how much you start with. I mean, if you start with 100,000, I mean, you probably have like a 1% chance of getting a million. But if you start with $20 like Jared does, you probably have a like 0% chance of ever getting a million. Yeah, and Stake is such a scam because what Stake does is they're partnered with Kick, or the owners of Stake own Kick, the streaming site, because Twitch banned gambling. And what they do with these streamers is they give them deals so these streamers can make money if you sign up and gamble. So they have referral money, and they also have better odds. So the odds are in their favor, where for a streamer, they have 60 in their favor and then 40 in Stake's favor. So 60% of the time, they'll hit it big. Whereas you, when you're personal and you're not sponsored by them, you have like a 30% chance. So they have like double the chance of winning when you're partnered with Stake. So that's why when you see all these streamers gambling on stream and hitting it big, it's because they have really good odds and they have partnerships. They don't even put the money in Stake. Stake gives them like $100,000 before they stream, and then they start gambling and they have good odds, and then it looks like they're winning and they have all this money, when really it's all rigged. Kick is woke. Yeah, I don't really know much about Kick. All I know about Kick is Aiden Ross, and I mean they're pretty lenient with a lot of their shit. But I've never been on Kick, so I don't really know. Is there like transgenders, or is it like feminist, or what's woke about it? I don't really know. I've downloaded the app once and I deleted it fast. Blaisy, do you know about RNG abuse in Pokemon? I would do some research. I kind of do. It's like stacking the odds in your favor better, but I don't really know much about it, to be honest. Jared used to be more sharp, but he seems slow now. I wonder what happened. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know too. I've only really known Jared for about a year now, his channel. But when you look at old photos of him and stuff, you could tell he used to be a lot different. But he said even back in high school, he had to take like a special ed class. So even back then, I don't think he was the most intelligent fella. But he definitely has slowed down when you look at like his weight and everything. They remove people, partnerships, if they do anything offensive at all. That makes sense. Is it more woke than Twitch, though? Because I know Twitch is pretty woke. YouTube's gotten a little better. Like, I've said some pretty edgy stuff this past month. And, I mean, 3 months ago, they gave me a hate speech violation that expired for something I said. I don't even know what I said. But the past month, I've been saying a lot of, like, edgy stuff on my live streams, and they've been okay with it. So I think YouTube has gotten a little better. But yeah, I don't know much about Kick. I don't like it at all. The people on there are weird. And even Aiden Ross is weird, but I do like watching Aiden Ross. He's kind of entertaining, to be honest. Lots of the stuff he does. He's a weirdo, which is why it's entertaining. I think the reason Aiden Ross gets away with so much edgy stuff is because he owns part of Kick. His partnership deal, they gave him a big part of Kick. So since he's a part owner, they can't really ban him. So I think that's why he gets away with more stuff. But I don't know about smaller streamers on Kick. RNG abuse is actually crazy. On a computer, you download an RNG reporter and you put the Pokemon file MAC address, D-Trainer. I've seen that, but I don't really know how to abuse that stuff. The thing about it is that's for legit copies, and on PC you can just get a emulator, right? You can get an emulator, and then with the emulator you can just, it's really easy to cheat with emulators. You don't even need to do the RNG hacks. That's for legit copies, right? To get legit Pokemon. But on the computer I play the emulators because like Man, Pokemon copies have gotten so expensive over the years. My favorite Pokemon game is probably Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And to get a new version of that game is like $1,000. So it really sucks. 'Cause I want the box. I remember I pre-ordered that game, and I remember when that game came out. Oh, man, I was in elementary school. I was so excited. The Poke Walker, that thing was so awesome. Um, and yeah, the box art is just so cool. Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but it's like it's one of the most expensive Pokemon games. Mall. Hey Jenny, every time you come into the stream, you say mall. I don't know what it means. But yeah, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, favorite Pokemon. It's hard. I like Pokemon Diamond Pearl, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black and White, and Black and White 2. And those are because I wasn't really around for the Game Boy generation. My older brother had Game Boys and stuff, and he would play the older Pokemons in front of me, but I never really got to play the Game Boys because I was like 4, 5, and 6 during the Game Boy generations. Then when I was like 7 or 8, the DS came out, and then I got the DS. So I was never really part of the Game Boy generation. Sadly, I'm sure that was a fun time. But Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver were so amazing when I was like 10, 11. Some amazing games, like having the Pokewalker, having the DS. Those are some amazing times. They don't make Pokemon games like that anymore. Not at all, sadly. There was so much like effort put into those games and artwork. And the storylines, even though they kept it PG-13, they still managed to make the storylines good in those games. Like the storylines were still good in those games compared to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, where it feels like it's made for a 2-year-old. Have you ever found a shiny? I've found so many shinies, so many shinies over the years. You know, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shine and Pearl was really easy to get shinies. Same with Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee, and Pikachu. But I remember on the original DS, it was a lot harder to get shinies. And as a kid, I didn't know about the shiny charm. So I did full odd shiny hunts. And it didn't go too well, obviously. I think as a kid, I only ever got one single shiny, and it was a Zubat. So it wasn't even a good Pokemon. Yes, because Cyrus was the most evil. He was more than likely died by going into the distortion world. Yeah, Cyrus was pretty cool. That was a good one. My favorite storyline in a Pokemon game was probably Black and White with N and his like Genesis and all that. I don't know. I haven't played those games in 10 years, but I still remember the story. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl were awesome because they're the first games for the DS. But oh yeah, the rival was good. I like Barry. Barry was a cool rival. You could evolve it to shiny Crobat. I don't think I did that as a kid. I was afraid to evolve my shinies for some reason as a kid. I thought it would ruin them or something. Yeah, I don't know. Fans brought back a custom server. You can play older games online now. Yeah, that's pretty cool, but then you got to get a DS and all the old games. I had my old games, but fuck, my dad was a dick. He was an alcoholic, and when I moved away from my dad when I was like 14, he kept all of my DS games, and I asked for them back, and he's like, no, I paid for these. And he didn't pay for them. My mom paid for them. And he's like, yeah, I paid for all of these. So he kept all of my DS games, and I think he just threw them out. So I lost my entire collection with all my Pokemon when I was like 14, 15. And since then, I've just never really gotten back into legitimate copies of Pokemon because I don't know, it feels like a waste of time now. You can get the mystery gifts too. Oh, that's cool. The mystery gift I always wanted to try was the Celebi one in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I missed that one by like a week when I was a kid. Do you forgive your father? I forgive him, but I don't talk to him anymore. I haven't talked to, man, my dad. I haven't talked to my dad in, fuck. When was the last time? Like 2017? So, wow. Yeah, it's been a long time, like 7 years. Yeah. I don't talk to my dad anymore. I don't like my dad. If you knew him, you would understand why. I mean, maybe he's changed, but you don't have to as long as you forgive from a big distance. Yeah, I do forgive. It's just I don't know. He's a different type of guy. That's for sure. That's all I'll say on that. Yeah. Uh, I miss those Pokemon games. Really, so that's not the reason I stopped talking to him. By the way, I didn't stop talking to him for something as petty as that. It wasn't the Pokemon games. I mean, I am still upset about that, but like, I totally forgive him for that. I don't really care about that, but it was a whole bunch of other things with him. I mean, obviously, one, he was an alcoholic. That's like one of the big reasons. And who knows? It's probably changed, but I don't care about getting in contact with him. Like, yeah. My stepfather was more of a father to me, but I don't even talk to my stepfather anymore because he had like 4 other kids with my mom, and then he had like my old brother that I talked about earlier. He was actually my stepbrother from my stepdad's side, that had the Game Boy and stuff, and that's who would come over. And so my stepdad has like 5 other kids, so I don't talk to him anymore. My friends used me back in 2013. I should. Yeah, see, I'm not depressed anymore. That's why I was depressed back in 2017, 2018, 2019. Stuff with my dad, stuff with my mom. I don't really want to share online because, trolls use shit as ammunition. So I don't really want to share any of it online. But there's been lots of stuff with my mom and my dad. That's why I was depressed back then. But I would say 19, 20 is when I started to feel happy again because I grew into my own. They convinced me to trade in all my old Xbox 360 games to GameStop. I only got $20 for over 100 games. Yeah, that's really bad, man. That's like, you could sell it on Craigslist or something for more money than that, but like, you don't even want to sell that stuff because, yeah, it's like, that stuff holds a lot of sentimental value. Like, it feels like you're selling your childhood, and that's what happened to me. And I'll never see, at least with the Xbox, as long as you kept the Xbox, it's on your save files, but with the DS, the save files were on the cartridges. So even if I had my old DS, I still wouldn't be able to get my old save files back, sadly. Which, that was the big thing about losing my Pokemon games. It wasn't the money, it was the save files, It sucks, yeah. Do I support Israel or Palestine? I never even really thought about supporting them. I just thought like we shouldn't get involved in it. The Americas, like I consider myself American, not from the USA, but I'm in Canada because, technically this is the Americas, but I'm not actually American. But I just don't think we should be involved with the Palestine, the Ukraine, because we're in so much debt. But I mean, it benefits me because of my investments, but to most people, they're going to be living in poverty their whole lives because our government is so corrupt and they're supporting these foreign wars. Like, we're about to go to war with China too because of Taiwan. So, and China's the second most powerful nation behind the United States, and we're already at war with Russia. We're already at war with Palestine. I bought a stock from Israel one time, like from the stock market? A stock. Yeah, I'm not really into stocks anymore. I was into stocks for a while. Like when weed was getting legalized in Canada, I bought a bunch of weed stocks and then it went up a bunch and then I sold it. I was into weed stocks for a while. Yes, on Robinhood. Oh, nice. I don't think we have Robinhood here in Canada. We have something really cool for investing in Bitcoin called ShakePay, where it's really easy to put money in ShakePay and buy Bitcoin, and then every day you can shake your phone and you get like $1 in Bitcoin just by shaking your phone every day. So I get a free dollar every day in Bitcoin. Plus, I try to put like $20 a day in Bitcoin, but lately for the past 2 months, I've been selling all my Bitcoin, so I haven't been buying it. But the past couple of years, I was buying like $20 a day, and that's how I built most of my wealth. I also bought stock from a Chinese cleaning company on China. Oh, that's pretty good. China has a lot of room for growth. I mean, it's probably gonna outpace the United States here. Like the States is like, sadly, it's like Rome. It's like the Mongol Empire. It's like the UK, because the UK used to be a world empire, then it fell apart. So it's kind of like all these empires where they seemed invincible and then they fell apart, which is pretty sad. Growing up in Canada, I always really looked up to the United States. Like I always thought the United States was this awesome nation. They were our neighbor. Because of them, Canada is prosperous. Like I always really looked up to the United States, but nowadays, like I feel really disappointed in the United States and shit. It's really sad. It didn't do well. I bought it because it was so cheap. It didn't grow at all. Well, that's kind of like Tyree Sneed, where he always buys those penny stocks, and then he thinks he's like a millionaire because he owns like 7,000 stocks, but they're like half a penny each. Yeah, I can't really recommend Bitcoin right now, but when Bitcoin goes down again, I recommend putting in, like, if you can, $20 a week or whatever, and it all adds up. Like putting in $20 a week for 2 years before Bitcoin goes up again, 2025, 2026, when it's down, it'll go up again in 2027, 28. So when Bitcoin goes down again, try put like $20 a week in, and then, doing that, you could get like $7,000, $8,000 invested over 2 years, and then once Bitcoin goes up again, that $7,000, $8,000 could become like $20,000, $30,000. I'm a Democrat, but an old school liberal. Oh yeah, see, like I'm kind of the same way. I call myself a centrist because I'm more sided with the modern day Republican Party because of their economic policies. But I do believe in the old school liberal values. Like, at least I did. I'm kind of starting to not believe in them. Like the 19th Amendment that made women vote. I kind of feel like women are the majority who vote for Biden, and Biden has like ruined America, in my opinion. I don't think Trump is much better, but he's definitely better. And yeah, I just don't think the modern day Democrats have a lot of like financial responsibility or intelligence. It's sad. But I used to believe in the 19th Amendment, but as time goes on, more and more, I kind of stopped believing that women should vote, honestly. Because it seems like all of these rights have really gone to their head. Like women back in the day used to be very modest, very feminine, and they weren't perfect. No human's perfect, but they were definitely a lot more feminine, modest, nice, kind, understanding. And today they're stuck up, egotistical, rude, bitchy, all of these things. And I don't think it's voting that did that for them, but I think it's having all these rights. Then they voted for all these rights that they shouldn't really have. So them being able to vote let them create a lot of the society we live in today. I am Democrat, but old school, physically conservative, socially classical liberal. We need to liberate ghettos. Yeah, that's true. We also need to close the Mexican border. Here in Canada, we obviously aren't bordered with Mexico, but our prime minister, he's extremely liberal, and he's bringing in 1 million immigrants a year for the past couple years. Our population a couple years ago was 36 million. And he's bringing in 1 million a year. Now we're at 40 million here in Canada, and they want to bring our population up to 100 million by 2100. And you got to think, us white people, we're having less and less kids. We're not replacing ourselves. So to bring our population up to 100 million here in Canada, they're going to have to bring in all these immigrants to replace us. And it's the great replacement theory. We're going to become the Native Americans, the white people. We're going to become the Native Americans of our own country. And lots of these Democrats and liberals say, oh, it's karma, it's karma. Like, you realize you're white too. Like, and these people, lots of these immigrants are evil. Save black women from becoming influenced by ghetto lifestyle and young black boys. Yeah, that's true. I mean, even white boys, I mean, I used to be influenced a lot by that type of music. Like, I used to actually, not like actually, but kinda believe I was gangster. Like, I wouldn't say gangster. I kind of thought I was a thug, because of the music I was listening to. Like, I actually believed like I was a thug and I was about that life. And I wasn't. I believe in self-defense and stuff, but lots of that stuff is attacking people, selling drugs, doing all this like evil stuff. And I don't support that, but I was kind of mistaking like self-defense with being a thug. And I fully support self-defense, but yeah, I don't support being a thug or a gangster. And young black boys, 1980s crack epidemic, black men and women are doomed since the start. Yeah, I don't know too much on it. I mean, you're from Vermont, right? So I'm pretty sure Vermont and like Illinois has like a lot of black people, like Detroit and stuff. Here in Canada, we don't have a whole lot of black people. We have a lot of like Pakistan, Indian people because of all the immigrants coming over, but we don't have a whole lot of black people here. I mean, I've went to 12 schools in my 11 years of school, and I probably only like ever knew 2 black people. That's how little black people we have in Canada. Vermont has no black people, man. That's funny, man. Oh, really? I thought there was lots of black people there. I don't really know much about Vermont. Yeah, here in Canada, we have a lot of like Pakistan and Indian people. I don't have anything against them, but it's just they're bringing too many over. Like, at most, I think it should be 100,000 people a year, but 1 million is just way too many. A bunch of soy-eating white neoliberals. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I have no clue about Vermont. Yeah, there's a lot of states in the United States. See, here in Canada, we have provinces instead of states, and we only have like 7 provinces. I mean, there's like Nunavut, there's Nova Scotia, there's BC, Alberta, Ontario. I don't really know much about the French side, but I think Quebec isn't a province. I'm pretty sure it's like a city. I'm not even entirely sure. I don't know much about the French side. Saskatchewan too. Saskatchewan is all right. Chicago, Illinois, full of black people. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I know Detroit has a lot of black people too. That's where Eminem came from, and he was like really blackwashed. You know, most times you see people get whitewashed, but Eminem was like blackwashed. Yeah, I'll have to search up Vermont after the stream, see what like cities there are in Vermont. Like, what's the biggest city in Vermont? In Alberta, our biggest city is Calgary and Edmonton, but I know most Americans don't know about those cities. I've talked to some Americans online. I've had some American friends from Minecraft, and they had no clue what even Alberta was, much less Calgary or Edmonton. Eminem, good rapper, but he's too much of a leftist. True, yeah. Yeah, I know that Eminem is pretty left. Who's another left person that it's weird, yeah, because you think Eminem would be more Republican or conservative, but one thing that really annoys me is how all the Taylor Swift fans are so liberal, and I see them use these blue hearts like voting for Biden. I don't even mind the Democrat Party because I did like Obama. I know Obama is controversial, but I did kind of like Obama. I mean, he wasn't perfect at all. He did start some wars and shit. He did lots of crazy stuff, but like if it was between Obama and Trump, I might prefer Obama. I might be like kind of in the middle, but when it comes to Biden versus Trump, come on. Like, come on. Like, Biden's going to die in office if he gets reelected, and then Kamala Harris, who's even worse than Biden, is going to become the president by default. And then the first female president ever will be by default, and it'll be Kamala Harris. Like, of all people, come on, man. Don't vote Biden. Like, I have no problem with the Democrat Party, but Biden is, like, he's terrible. Burlington, Vermont. I think I've heard of that. That kind of sounds British, oddly. Taylor Swift and Beyonce fans are both cringe as crap. Yeah, that's true. They are. And Taylor Swift had some good songs, like decent songs at least, but they're just so overrated where people think they're like these ultimate masterpieces when really she's better than Ice Spice at least, and Ice Spice has a cult following too. And her songs aren't even decent. They're terrible. My friend got arrested in California, and Kamala Harris was the district attorney at the time. Oh, damn. Here in Canada, I have court in a month. My court date's been delayed by like a year. Every month it keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. So I have court in a month, right? And they're still pushing for 18 months. Like a year ago, they were pushing for 18 months, and they're still pushing for 18 months in jail. And it really annoys me because all of these judges are super liberal here. I don't like, there's a statistic that came out, and 71% of the judges here in Alberta donate to the Liberal Party. And so they're like extremely feminist, extremely liberal. So they're heavily sided against me because I'm a male and my ex is the one who's charging me. So they're heavily on her side and heavily against me because she's a female, I'm a male. And so I have a feeling I'm probably going to have to do like, I'm probably going to get sentenced to like 8 to 10 months. And if I'm good, we'll have to do 4 months. And jail isn't too bad. I mean, you get fed a lot. I've been to jail for a week before, but it's like, for what I did, I should not go to jail at all. I've already gone to jail for a week for the same charges. They stripped me down, which is sexual assault. They forced me to strip down, you know, spread my cheeks, lift up my balls, do all this weird shit. So they sexually assaulted me. They locked me in a cage. They put me in with a bunch of sketchy black people. Like my roommate was this really, really sketchy gang guy. He was in a gang. He was a black person. Luckily, me and him got along. He was cool, but he was crazy. He was kind of like the guy off that Somali pirate movie, you know, I am the captain now. He was kind of like that guy. He was like skinny like that. He was like very aggressive, really crazy, but at the same time, me and him got along. You know, he was exactly like that guy off that Somalian pirate movie. I am the captain now. He also got arrested in Canada robbing banks. Yes, it is his name versus the state of California. Kamala Harris worked on his case. Damn. So he actually had Kamala Harris review his case. Have you heard of a tunnel rat bandit? No, I haven't. Sounds crazy, though. My friend Ryan Patrick Flaherty got arrested in Toronto, Canada, robbing banks. Damn, robbing banks, that's crazy. My buddy Joel, 4 months ago, was shot to death. His mom came out with a podcast 2 weeks ago, so I finally got to figure out how Joel died. He was shot in the back of his head, apparently. He was my buddy from high school. Like, we were best friends. We used to always smoke weed together, and like, we were best friends in high school for a year at least till he moved back to BC. And yeah, 4 months ago he was shot to death, which is pretty sad. And they haven't found his killer yet. They know who the guy is, but even 4 months later, the RCMP hasn't got his killer yet. Yet they're coming after me for Instagram message. My buddy was literally murdered, and they haven't found that guy yet. They're coming after me for 4 years for Instagram messages. Literally, that's what I'm getting charged for. I mean, my original charge was assault and what was the other one? Like damage to property. Mischief is what it's called. So I got assault and mischief. That was like 4 years ago. And then I was pissed off, so I messaged my ex. And they're still after me for this. Instagram messages. That's the harassment. Like, what the fuck, man? They need to drop this shit. He's from America, though. Yeah, did they go easier on him because he's from America, or did they go harder on him? I wonder how that works. It's so annoying. Like, I should have been off these charges so long ago. Like, they really need to drop this shit. They've wasted so much money on me by, like, pursuing these charges for 4 years. And it sucks because the court systems are so filled up right now, yet they're focused on me. Like, the wait time for a court to get a court date is 4 months, which is why it originally took 4 months, and they delayed it like 5 times. So that's why it's been over a year since my court was supposed to take place. But yeah, the courts are so backed up right now, and they're focusing on me for Instagram messages. They're treating me like I'm an actual criminal. Like, they treat me like I actually did some like really serious shit, and all I did was like send some nasty messages on Instagram. And like, my assault charges have already been dropped. My mischief charge has already been dropped. I've already dealt with all that. I'm over that. It's literally my harassment, my Instagram messages. That's what they're after me for. Yeah, no freedom of speech in Canada. It's true. It really sucks. Like, it's really annoying because you got to think it's like not just an inconvenience to me and to the courts, but also to the taxpayers. Because on average, the jail guards said it cost the taxpayer on average $112 a day per person to keep someone in the jail. And they kept me in there for a week, and they're pushing for 18 months, the Crown prosecutor. But not just jail costs. You got to think of court costs. I don't pay for my lawyer, so my lawyer costs, the Crown prosecutor costs. You know, in total, they probably waste like $200,000 on me over the past 4 years pursuing Instagram messages. So not only is it an inconvenience to me, to my family, to the victim too. They call her a victim. She's not a victim. It's also an inconvenience to the taxpayers. Like, they need to drop this shit already. It's so annoying. It's no wonder our country is so in debt. Like, I'm dumbfounded with how much money they waste. It really sucks. It's no wonder we're so in debt. It's no wonder our economy is collapsing. But yeah, I haven't messaged my ex in like over 2 years, and I don't plan on it. I don't like her anymore. I haven't liked her for a long time. But the thing about it is, get this, I left her alone for over a year, and then she came back in my life, and she was harassing me. She was calling me a pussy. She was being like, "You're a bitch. Oh, do you want an Uber up here to fight my boyfriend?" And that's why I got the assault charge, because I tried to fight her boyfriend at that time. She was like egging me on, sending me pictures of, she didn't send me them, but she unprivated her Instagram, and then she was sending me messages, so I saw those. And then she was egging me on and stuff. So I went up there, and I wasn't planning on fighting this dude, actually. She wanted me to. But then, so I went to her work, and then fucking she shows up, and she brought her boyfriend. So like, I was trying to go up there to talk to her, right? Because I wanted to see what's up. Like, why are you saying all this shit online? I'm the pussy. Okay, let's see who's the pussy. I'm gonna come talk to you. So I go up there, and she's with her boyfriend. So impulsively, I try to fight this dude. He fucking runs in her car. So I didn't even get a punch on him, you know? So my assault charge was attempted assault, but they put it as actual assault. I didn't even punch him. He ran to her car. I tried to punch the fucking windows out, right? But for some reason, car windows are so strong. And also, I was 19, so I was, 18, 19. So I was weaker than I am now. I don't know. But like, I wasn't weak. Like, look, like, you can still see my fists are still red. I fucking punched all of these in because I was trying to punch the window out, right? My fists were like flat and all bloody because I tried to fucking punch that window out. I couldn't break the window, right? So I'm so pissed off still, and I can't beat the shit out of this guy. So I fucking punched both of her windows out, right? Her side view windows. I didn't know it was her car at the time. I didn't know whose car it was. I just knew Buddy was hiding in it. And even after I punched the windows out, I just sit on the window that I tried, or the mirrors out. I sit on the window for like 10 minutes. It took the cops like 10 minutes to arrive. Have you heard of This was like 4 years ago though. And these charges are dealt with. Like, I understand I got charged with that. That's reasonable. But like my Instagram messages, like, fuck off. It's messages. Have you heard of Charles Lindenberg? No, I have not. I've heard of Charles Manson. I'm interested in the Charles Manson stuff because he had like a cult. But I have not heard of Charles Lindbergh. I don't know anything about him, actually. I do like Charles Manson. I don't like him, but like, I find him a very interesting individual because he started a cult. But yeah, that's how I got my charges. It's bullshit. I should not have got charged for Instagram messages. Oh yeah, I was watching the Manson videos recently. Yeah, it's very interesting stuff. He got these girls to kill people for him. Like, can you imagine that? And these weren't some ugly girls. They were some pretty hot girls. I'll tell you. They were pretty hot. The one where he says he is nobody. Oh yeah, that one's pretty creepy. That's when he's been in jail for like 20 years, so he's like lost his mind. But he was, before that, he was like a very charismatic individual. He wasn't even very handsome. He just had that riz, as the kids say, riz. I think that's cringe. Like, I don't know why I said that, riz. But yeah, he had confidence. And that's how he got these girls to do some crazy shit for him. But they were hot. They were hot, really hot. Yeah, I know everything about the Charles Manson case because I did a lot of research on it. Not even for school or anything, just for fun. Charles Lindenberg is the aviator. His baby was kidnapped and killed. Oh, damn. His baby was Oh, so did he kill the dude who did that to his baby, or how did that happen? Yeah, you see that a lot. These people who like avenge their family members, and then they get more jail time than people who are just straight up murderers, you know? People say a conspiracy that he had his own baby kidnapped and killed. Oh. Oh, wow. I'll have to, Charles Lindenberg, I'll have to search that up. Yeah, that's crazy. Damn, this live stream's been 90 minutes. I've kind of just been rambling about random stuff, but yeah. I don't mind. I like wasting YouTube storage space because, you know, it contributes to inflation so slightly. Like if everybody did what I did, inflation would be even higher, which I don't like inflation, but I also like it in a way because I don't like that inflation makes everyone else poor and it makes society miserable, but at the same time I like it because it makes me rich, you know? But I do feel bad for people because lots of people are struggling right now and they're too ignorant and stupid to understand how the economy works. But yeah. People say a conspiracy that they say Charles believe in Eugets, and since baby was imperfect with physical handicap, he had the imperfect baby kidnapped and killed. Oh, wow. I mean, that would make sense. I don't know what eugenetics is. I don't even know what that is, but sounds like some type of religion or something. He believed in superior. Oh, so he is like kind of like a white supremacist, but also like no handicap people. Okay. I mean, in a way, you can think of it as mercy, but yeah, obviously, once a baby's born, it's wrong to kill it. It's even wrong to kill a baby in a womb, but I know lots of feminists would disagree that abortions are okay. My ex actually somewhat had an abortion. It's hard to explain. I just explained it to people by saying she had an abortion, but then people who know the story always correct me and be like, she didn't have an abortion. It's like, well, that's just how I say it. So like what happened is she took a plan B the day after. But then a week later, she took a pregnancy test and it said she was pregnant. So then we took her to the abortion clinic. They said she wasn't pregnant. Then she got an IUD. So instead of explaining that, I always just say she has an abortion. But then the police always correct me and she's like, well, actually, she didn't have an abortion. She da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, yeah. But it's just much easier to say she had an abortion, you know? It was created by Francis Dalton. Margaret Sanger also believed in eugenics, and she created Planned Parenthood. Oh, yeah. See, I don't know about a lot of this stuff. I know a lot of things, but I don't know about this. I'm not too up to date with any of the any of this type of stuff. See, you're interested in having kids too, so you're interested in this stuff, but I've kind of in a sense given up on having kids because like I said, I don't want a girlfriend. And it's funny because when you say that to females, they always call you an incel, and it's like, well, an incel is involuntary celibate. If I wanted pussy, I could get pussy. If I wanted a girlfriend, I could probably get a girlfriend instantly, but she might be fat because it's easy to get fat girls. But like at the same time, I don't want a girlfriend. Like I'm excited for the AI girls to come out because then I can make her to the appearance that I want. She can be the personality I want. She can like do the chores. I can tell her make me a sandwich and she's not gonna be like, oh my God, that's sexist. Well, you like my money. I like you for making me a sandwich. Okay, make me a sandwich. All right? Like, I don't know what it is with girls, but like I'm telling you, when I make spaghetti, I can make it better than a female, but just because a female makes it, it tastes better. I don't know what it is. Like when females cook me food, it always tastes better. I don't know what it is. But I can make spaghetti better than a bitch, but like at the same time, my spaghetti doesn't taste as good for some reason. I don't know. It's something with women. They just, when they cook the food, it's better. So like make me a sandwich. It's going to taste better. You know? That's how I feel, at least. Margaret Sanger is spoken a lot about by Republicans and Trump supporters. They say that the person who created Planned Parenthood was supportive of KKK and Nazism. Wouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, like because of Planned Parenthood, it's also the great replacement theory where white people are getting replaced because we're the ones who do all the abortions and the Planned Parenthood stuff, whereas all these immigrants don't even give a shit. They just have like, they live in these broke ghettos, these poor countries, and they have like 8 children. Meanwhile, here we are, the white people. You can have a white chick making $200,000 a year. You can have the husband making $300,000 a year, and at most they have like 1 kid. You know, that's how our society works. Ironically, Sangler wanted more white babies. Yeah, see, that makes sense. Like, if you're part of the KKK, wouldn't you want more white babies? But ironically, white people are the ones who do Planned Parenthood the most. Yeah, it's odd. That's why she worked with KKK/Nazis. Yeah, it's, I don't know, like, this Planned Parenthood stuff, man, it's ruined our society. That's why we need all these immigrants coming in, because, man, white people, it's gonna be so sad. But I guess we're probably not gonna be around to see it, but you know, like 50 to 100 years from now, if the world is still around, white people are gonna be such a minority. You know, we're gonna be like Native Americans, where our race is almost non-existent. Hey, why are you rubbing yourself? You're gonna lose scales. Stop doing that. Fucking, I hate when the goldfish do that. They're like knocking their scales off, and it hurts them, but they do it to themselves. You stop doing that, you fucker. I hate when they do that, these fuckers. That Democrat Lyndon B. Johnson used black people when he became president in the 1960s. Yeah, I don't know much about the old presidents. I just know about the presidents in my lifetime. Like, I know about George Bush, I know about President Obama, obviously Trump and Biden. And I know about the founding fathers, kind of like Lincoln, George Washington, but when it comes to the older, see, because like I'm Gen Z and I'm Canadian, so I don't know a whole lot about the older presidents. But he said that niggers would be voting for Democrat for decades. I mean, he wasn't really wrong, but I think black people are actually starting to vote for Trump more, right? If I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I know a lot of Democrats say that's like misinformation and stuff, that black people actually still like Democrats, but Trump says that the black community loves him, but I guess you can't really take Trump's word for it. Now, the 1960s and 70s seemed like they would have been pretty cool times. Like, wasn't that like the Vietnam era, the hippie era, peace, love era, LSD era? At the same time, I love technology. I have a love-hate relationship with technology. Like, I'm so excited for the future with AI and stuff, but at the same time, I absolutely despise social media. Like, I wish everything went back to cable television and stuff. Like, I despise social media, but at the same time, I do love technology. Like, I love video games. I love AI. I love cryptocurrency, or like Bitcoin, not crypto. Yeah, you're right. Joe Glider bought fried chicken for a black family and pandered to them. Oh yeah, Joe Biden. Yeah, he did. I saw that. He went to like that black. That was so weird. He was standing weird. He was doing a bunch of weird things with the black family. That was so weird. I don't know why. Like, it was clearly a PR campaign. Like, when you do something that's so obviously a PR campaign, it just looks bad on you. It doesn't look good on you. So I don't know why he did that. But the Democrats and the liberals have a tendency to do stuff that, like, they think is like virtual signaling, but it actually looks bad on them because you can just tell it's so fake. Liberals have like a tendency to do that. It's pretty annoying. This live stream is about to hit 100 minutes in a couple seconds here. 100 minutes. Do you like poop or pee? Let's see what people voted. Oh, everybody likes pee. Damn. I should have put a third option, semen. Everybody would have voted for semen. Yeah, it's at 100 minutes. I should probably end the live stream soon, but I really see, the reason I do these live streams is to waste YouTube storage space because it all adds up. They compress these videos and it takes up less storage, but it all adds up. So I've probably wasted like 100, $200 of YouTube's money just by doing these stupid live streams on this channel. So that's why I do these live streams. RFK Jr. is not allowed Secret Service protection even though his relative JFK was assassinated. Oh, really? I don't really know how the Secret Service works for family members, but yeah. He should probably get the Secret Service because, yeah, obviously JFK was assassinated. So it would make sense that the family would have a little bit more leniency than other presidents. Joe Biden definitely needs a Secret Service. I mean, Buddy can barely walk, much less fight. That whole JFK thing was so sketchy. Like, I did a bunch of research on that a long time ago. But he was doing so. That was during the Vietnam era and all that stuff. And the CIA is so sketchy. For decades they've been doing foreign espionage in other elections. That's how they got Zelensky elected in Ukraine. The CIA did that. So the CIA has been sketchy for a long time, but there's lots of proof that they're doing domestic espionage now, like in America with the elections, trying to get because the Democrats are the institutions. The Democrats are the state now. So the CIA really likes Democrats. So I think Trump is onto something when he says the elections were fake, but he doesn't have a whole lot of proof, which is the shitty part. But I think obviously a lot of people did vote for Democrat in the 2020 election, but I also think, Joe Biden got 81 million votes. I'd say maybe 20 million of those are fake, because Trump got 79 million, and that's like a record amount of votes. Yet Joe Biden still beat him with 81 million. It's crazy. It's crazy how. There must have been a lot of fake votes in the last election. They removed Donald Trump from the Hall of Presidents at Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Well, Disney is really, really woke, so that makes sense. I'm surprised they even allow the Founding Fathers, because the Founding Fathers were by today's standards, they were very conservative, Conservative values are what built, modern day conservative values are what built America. The family values, the economic values, because, America was built on the gold standard. They went off the gold standard in the early 70s, but America's economy was built on the gold standard, very conservative. The family values were very conservative. Everything that America was founded on and built upon that made America so great was conservative, modern day conservative values. Do you like Trailer Park Boys? Yeah, I like it. I haven't seen it in years and years. It's a very Canadian show. My buddy Joel that I told you about earlier, who was shot to death, was the biggest Trailer Park Boys fan. He was shot to death in his trailer. Obviously when we were teenagers, he didn't have a trailer, but my buddy Joel, he was such a Trailer Park Boy fan. We would do so much Trailer Park Boys slang. We'd call each other the boys. We'd always be like, fuck, man. Trailer Park Boys. Yeah, Joel was a huge fan. Joel was awesome. That's why I got so into weed back when I was a teenager, because Joel was such a high-spirited person that whenever you got high around him, everything was so funny. Everything was so funny. Yeah, rip to him. I'm not too sad about it. I can't pretend I was the best friend and we were best friends, because we didn't talk in years, but it's because I cut everyone out. I don't trust anyone. In real life, I don't trust anyone. I've been fucked over by so many people, and I'm not just talking my ex or family members. I'm talking friends and stuff, a lot of friends. So 2020, 2021, I cut all my friends out. I stopped talking to everyone. I haven't had friends in years, and I like it that way. So yeah, I don't trust anyone. I've had so many fucked up situations happen because of fake friends and bad scenarios. So yeah, me and Joel weren't friends for years. We didn't talk for years, but Joel was one of my favorite friends I ever had in all of my schools I went to. Joel was one of my favorite friends, and of one of the like of all the people who could have been shot to death, he's like one of the people who least deserved it, honestly. So yeah, it's pretty sad. But just like me, he had a tendency to hang out with sketchy people, which is why I stopped hanging out with people, because I realized the friends I was hanging out with were really sketchy, and if I kept that up, something bad was gonna happen to me. Like I was gonna get stabbed or shot, and I guess Joel never really cared. He just lived that life, didn't care. Yeah. The drunk native seems interesting. Yeah, he was interesting. That dude was 15, 16 in that video. Oh man, I probably shouldn't have said that because YouTube might remove that shit. Whatever, they probably won't see this. But yeah, he was that age in that video, and even back then he was fucking buying all of these weapons off Amazon. His mom was like very protective of him because she didn't want him to become a gang member, but back then he was buying all these weapons off Amazon and hiding them from his mom. He was buying like baton sticks, like police baton sticks. He was buying switchblades. He was buying all this shit, but he wasn't that sketchy. Like he was oddly a good guy because his mom raised him like to not be a gang member. So like he was like kind of sheltered, but I'm talking about other friends that were more actually so get this, one time one of my other buddies, he lived with me when I was 17. I let him live with me. He was supposed to pay rent. He didn't pay rent. He moved out, but that's besides the point. This dude, he brought his cousin's boyfriend over, and his cousin's boyfriend was also cousins of this native guy. So it's weird. My buddy, who had a cousin, had a boyfriend, and that cousin was a cousin of that native guy. And that native guy told this dude that I was talking shit about their other cousin, right? It's very odd. So this other cousin was a girl, like Naomi or something like that. And this dude tried to fight me in my own apartment. And this is why I always carry weapons on me now. This dude tried to fight me in my own apartment because I was saying shit about Naomi, but I didn't even know who Naomi was. And I think either one of my two friends set me up to try and get this guy to fight me, because this guy was like 2 or 3 years older than me. And I didn't know if he had any weapons on him or something. So I was just like trying to calm this dude down, and fuck, it really pisses me off because I had to act like a bitch in that moment to try and like calm this guy down. But I wasn't being a bitch because I didn't know what this guy was talking about. I never said shit about Naomi. I didn't even know who Naomi was. Fuck, he was such a piss off. I look back on that and regret that I didn't have any weapons or anything back then, because I had to look like a bitch in my own apartment. I was like, no, I wasn't saying that. I wasn't like, and I wasn't like, I didn't know who this Naomi chick was. Like, fuck, such a piss off. Now you're probably straight. They won't remove it. Yeah, I hope not. Well, Blaisy, I was wrong about you. Granted, I was trolling Jared when I said he was better than you. No, I'm at, yeah, I know. True. I know it's YouTube. It brings out the troll in people. It's fun to troll sometimes, but yeah, I get it. It's fine. Nah, man, humility will save your ass in certain situations. Yeah, I agreed, because this dude was a native. He was 3 years older than me. He was a really sketchy dude. I had so many sketchy situations happen, but I just look back on that situation sometimes and I'm like, damn, I really wish I wouldn't have acted like such a bitch. But at the same time, like, was I going to fight this guy over something I didn't do? Like, what was the best situation to do? Like, probably calm him down. But at the same time, it kind of makes you look like a bitch when you're like, no, trust me, man, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Like, you look like a bitch, you know? But I didn't say that. I didn't do anything. I didn't know this girl. It's okay to be confident, though. Yeah, it is. But that's why I stopped hanging out with these people, because like I don't want to put myself in these sketchy situations that I shouldn't even be in. You know, and one of my two friends set me up to get this guy to try and fight me. And like, why would you even do that? I thought you're my friend. So yeah, I'm competitive and arrogant when doing things like playing online gaming multiplayer. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's pretty easy to get cocky and like act like a dick online. I know lots of people do it. Like lots of people who aren't even like tough at all. They're like 5'7", very skinny. They'll still act tough online. So everybody does it. Yeah, so many sketchy situations over the years. Like this same buddy who set me up with this guy who tried to fight me, the same buddy, like 2 months later, he was hanging out. He was hanging out at my place. The previous night, he left his laptop charger over. And it was like this shitty laptop. He left his laptop charger over. And the next morning, I was sleeping, and he comes buzzing at my apartment, so I don't let him in. He fucking kicks the door open, kicks my fucking door down because I'm sleeping, and fucking enters my apartment to get his laptop charger. Like, you caused like $500 of damage just to get your fucking laptop charger. But it's because he knew me and this dude were like friends since childhood, so he thought like, and he could, because I wasn't gonna do anything. I sat in my room with a knife waiting for him to come in, and he didn't come in. He just went to the living room, got his charger. But like, fuck, these sketchy people. It's so like, I would never do that. It's not even like it's just out of respect. I wouldn't kick my childhood friend's door down and get my fucking laptop charger just because he's sleeping. Like, that's fucking dumb. I saw it was snowing in Canada for you. There was a storm watch here in Vermont yesterday, but there was barely any snow. It's been raining. Yeah, see, that's why I can't get my gold, because my family member doesn't want to go on the roads to come visit me because she lives in another city. She still lives in Calgary, whereas I moved. I'm not going to exactly say because I've shown my location. So if I say my city, it's going to be easy to track me. But yeah, and I know there's people who want to dox me. And I mean, I'm probably only going to live in this apartment for 7 months. So even if I get doxed, it's fine. There was a little snow last night, but since it stopped snowing, it's been raw rain. Nice, yeah. See, like, there's still like a foot of snow here. This all happened in a single night, but the city I live in, we have a lot of like Chinooks, so like lots of warm air comes over here and melts the snow fast. Does Evan Recca want to dox you? I have no clue. I think so, but I don't think he's that type of person. Like, he has some weird morals where he'll make fun of dead people and stuff, but at the same time I can't explain it. He has some weird morals. Like, he has morals, but they're very odd because sometimes he'll do some really wild shit that's out of pocket, but then sometimes he'll like have morals. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. He's a weird dude. Dang, that's a decent amount of snow. Yeah, it is. And you got to think, this is Alberta. Like, imagine up north in Canada. Like, I'm like 2 hours away from the American border. So this isn't even like northern Canada. And this is like the furthest south you can get in Canada. So this is like the warmest part of Canada. It's still cold as hell. Like Jared333, I saw one time he was complaining that like it was gonna be like something like 10 degrees. And I don't know if he meant Celsius or Fahrenheit, but he's like, yeah, it's gonna get cold tonight. It's gonna be 10 degrees. And I'm like, buddy, like 10 degrees here in Canada is warm. Like, if it was 10 degrees at nighttime, that's like warm. Like, I could go outside without a shirt on. Are you close to Texas? No, Texas is like Southern America, and this is Southern Canada. But this is like, Alberta is like the Texas of Canada because we have a lot of oil, we have a lot of rednecks. So yeah, this Alberta is like the Texas of Canada. You must be very far from Quebec. Quebec is closer to Maine and Vermont. Yeah, I am far from Quebec, but I visited Nova Scotia before, which is closer to Quebec. Nova Scotia is pretty cool, but it's kind of like an island in Canada. It's by New York. It's like 2 hours away from New York. Quebec seems very rural. Yeah, I've never been a fan of Quebec because they're the people who vote in Justin Trudeau. And Justin Trudeau has been like our dictator for like 9 years because America has a 2-term policy. So even if that's why Barack Obama couldn't become president again, is because he had his 2 terms and he was out. Justin Trudeau's on his 3rd term, and he's about to probably get reelected for his 4th term because of the French people. So he's been like the dictator of Canada for 9 years now, like half my life. I learned you can see Russia from Alaska. Yeah, you can. It's pretty cool. The whole reason why Canada has such a weak military is because the United States protects us through Alaska. Like, if Alaska was still Russia, it used to be Russia before the United States bought it like 100 years ago. But yeah, if the United States didn't own Alaska, Canada would be screwed. Our military sucks. Like our military is garbage. Like I don't know why America doesn't invade us. Probably because we're part of NATO and like we're G7. They don't really want Canada. But like America could so easily take over Canada. It like fuck, it would take a couple days probably. I learned you can see Russia from Alaska, yeah. And Alaska is even colder than where I am. Yeah, our military is so weak. One time, I mean, in the 1980s, there's this in Edmonton, it's a city in Alberta here. They had a West Ed Mall. It's like the biggest, it used to be the biggest mall in the world. West Ed Mall used to have an attraction where they had like 5 or 6 submarines and it had like a lake inside the mall. And this single mall in the 1980s had more submarines than the entire Canadian Navy. So a single mall in Canada had more than the Navy of Canada. But they closed that attraction down, or else they'd probably still have more than the Navy. America would never invade Canada. The chances of America invading Mexico are much higher. Yeah, that's true. America should invade Mexico to get those gangs under control. But there was a time like 200 years ago where America tried to invade Canada. And in social studies here in Canada, that's like our pride and joy that we fended off against America, such a big nation against us, and America tried to invade us. But because I think we were still part of Great Britain while America was independent. So I think America, so it's really stupid because we had the help of Britain and we fended off against America, and we act like here in Canada it was such a big deal and we're so amazing, but it's like we had the help of the UK, of the British. So the chance of, I bought something from Canada and had to return it recently. Oh yeah, made in Canada. I don't even know what we make here in Canada. Like our economy is shit. The only reason our economy is still decent is because of Alberta, my province. We have a lot of oil. Without Alberta, Canada would fall apart pretty quickly. That's why I wish Alberta, like America, would buy Alberta, because we have such a liberal government that they don't want to build any more oil rigs over the native land. But like we were supposed to have something called the Keystone XL pipeline here in Alberta, and it was going to like make our economy thrive so much, but it would have had to go over some native land. So they canceled the pipeline because the liberals they don't want to interfere with the natives. And it's like none of the natives that exist today were ever in residential schools. They didn't like none of that stuff. So it's so dumb. It's the same thing with the black people where they want all these reparations and stuff. And it's like, not even your grandma was a slave. Not even your grandpa was a slave. Like, what do you mean reparations? No one you know in your family was ever a slave. So reparations for what? Like generational damages or something they call it. And it's like, come on, man. Like our grandparents, our great grandparents were in World War II. Do we get reparations? No. So like you don't need reparations either for your great grandparents who were slaves. So dumb. Joe Biden ruined the Keystone pipeline early in his presidency. Yeah, I think Joe Biden had a part to play in it because I think Trump wanted it and he was fighting with Justin Trudeau, our liberal leader. And then once Biden was elected, that's when all the talks ended. 2020, when Joe Biden got in, January 6th, I think, is when Joe Biden got in, 2020. Yeah. It really sucks about the Keystone pipeline, especially since we went to war with Russia. Like, fucking not only did Biden and Trudeau stop the pipeline that would have been amazing for both our countries, it would have been mutually beneficial, but we also sanctioned Russia. So at the time when we needed oil the most, they were also stopping one of the biggest pipelines ever. Like, so dumb. These liberals have no economic, responsibility, no physical policy. Fiscal. I said physical, I meant fiscal. They kind of sound the same. But yeah, it's so dumb. At the time when we needed oil the most is when they were stopping the pipeline. I disagree with Trump when he bragged about sending strikes to Syria. Yeah, I don't really know much about that, but the thing about Trump is I'm sure he did that. Obama did that too. Obama sent a lot of airstrikes too. Didn't he make jokes about bombs and stuff as well? But yeah, the good thing about Trump though is there wasn't a single war under his presidency. Like something like that was like the first president in like 40 years where there wasn't a new war under his presidency. I agree with Biden pulling out of Afghanistan. I both agree and disagree. I agree with him doing it, but I don't agree how they did it because they left like $1 billion worth of military stuff behind for the terrorists. But I agree with it because America shouldn't be involved with this much like foreign wars when there's so much domestic stuff going on. Like the America really needs to start paying back the debt, but instead they keep going more and more in debt. It's really annoying that these people don't understand until it's too late. And it's already kind of too late. Like it would take America like 50 to 70 years to pay off the debt if they started doing it today. But there's going to come a point where it's going to be literally impossible to ever pay back the debt. The debt to GDP ratio, which is the amount of money America makes in a year, the salary is the GDP. The debt to GDP ratio is 123.7%, meaning even if the United States put all of the money they make in a year in taxes and everything, even if they put all the money they make in a year into the debt, they would still be 23% in debt. And obviously they couldn't do that because they got a lot of social obligations, a lot of military obligations. So they could never put 100% of the money they make in a year into the debt. But even if they did, they would still be trillions of dollars in debt. It's crazy. Have you heard of Rebel Media in Canada? It's right. I have. I've watched some. Right. I've watched it. They actually, back when I lived in Calgary, they did a lot of news articles in Calgary. So I'd watch that. There's a place I worked in a neighborhood called Inglewood in Calgary, and I don't care if the trolls search it up. I haven't worked at this place in years. And there's no photos of me on social media at this place. So at a place I worked in a neighborhood called Inglewood, right next to us, there was a bunch of like gay bars and weird shit, bunch of transgender stuff. And they did lots of articles in this neighborhood. So back when I worked at this place in Inglewood, I used to watch a lot of Rebel News because they would literally do news articles in the like by the place I worked. And I used to have to always see all these like hippies and transgenders come into my workplace. Inglewood, that's a hood in California and Illinois. Oh yeah, I think it's a pretty popular name. Yeah, it's also a neighborhood in Calgary with lots of hippies and transgenders and stuff. I'm sure the hippies complained. Oh yeah, there was some big fights with Rebel News and the hippies and liberals. Yeah, because Rebel News really does like a lot of pushing and, like they're like real reporters where they do real news and report on stuff. And yeah, there was always some weird shit going on in that neighborhood. I hated working in that neighborhood because I also worked with a lot of hippies. I even worked with this one transgender. I didn't know if they were transgender. I didn't want to ask, but like, they dressed like a girl, they grew their hair like a girl, they dyed their hair like a girl, and they tried to talk in a high-pitched voice. So I'm pretty sure they were transgender. And it was so weird. It was so weird. Oh my God. I hated that place. It was good money too. Like they did this weird thing because it was a local business. They did this weird thing where they split the tips with the waitress and the kitchen staff. So like, we got half the tips. Like we got as much tips as the waitresses did. So we got really good tips there. So I made some really good money at that place. But I hated working there. I think it's spelled Englewood in Illinois and Inglewood in California. Yeah, it's pronounced the same one as California in Calgary, Inglewood. Do you hate that Canada gives free healthcare? Somewhat. I mean, I think people abuse it because the wait times, you go to emergency and, if you go to emergency, it's emergency. You shouldn't be there for more than an hour. But here in Canada, if you go to the emergency room, you could be there for days. Literally, that's not an exaggeration. You could be in the emergency room in the hospital for days because the healthcare is free. People will go there. Some people literally go there if they get a paper cut. They think they're bleeding too much and they'll bleed out. So they'll go to the hospital and get a paper cut. See, in America, people, if they got a paper cut, they'd be like, all right, I don't want to pay $2,000 for an ambulance, an emergency room. I'll just suck it up with the paper cut. Here in Canada, people will get paper cuts and they'll go to the emergency room. No joke, because it's free. So like you could be waiting in the emergency room for days, even if you have something serious. And especially during COVID, it was really bad, really, really bad. So yeah, that's how I feel about the healthcare. I think it's kind of a waste of money too, because you know we kind of leech off America with the military because we really slack on our military. We don't even like NATO has very low requirements to be in NATO for your military spending. It's something like 1 to 2% of your GDP, and Canada doesn't even meet that because we just completely leech off America for our military. So yeah, whereas European countries, they have a lot of borders with like Russia and enemies and stuff, so they have to meet those targets. Or Canada, like we feel very safe with America being our only neighbor. So we don't spend really any money on our military. We just leave it all up to America, and we just waste all our money on healthcare. Yeah, I had a finger infection and just squeezed out the pus instead of wasting taxpayer money. Painful as crap, but so satisfying. I agree. I had a spider bite a week ago, and fucking it got inflamed and stuff, and I squeezed it and a bunch of like pus came out. I didn't even pop it. It was like a spider bite. It was very satisfying. Isn't Bahamas, Jamaica, and Mexico your neighbors as well? No. The Bahamas and Jamaica and Mexico are hot. I mean, Mexico is kind of like South America, a little bit Central America. You know, Canada's North America. Well, America is Central America. But we don't have any borders with Mexico, but I guess they're kind of our neighbors in a way. But we don't have any borders with them. Aren't they part of North America? Yeah, see, that's the thing is like Brazil and South America, that's all South America. And then Mexico is somewhat considered North America, same with America. But like Mexico and America are kind of Central America. Well, Brazil is South America, and then Canada is North America. But in a way, yes, Mexico is still South America. Or North America. I mean, kind of both, because, you know, there's El Salvador, that's kind of part of Mexico. That's like Central, South America. I don't know. It's all kind of confusing how the continents work. I mean, there's some people who still think Africa is a country, right? Like, they don't know it's a continent. They think it's a country. I consider any countries within the same continent neighbors. Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, like, but Brazil, like, the UK is closer to Canada than Brazil. And Brazil is the Americas, well, UK is Europe. So Russia is also closer than Brazil to Canada. But, yeah, South Africa is the country. Yeah, but there's countries in Africa, right? I think even Egypt is part of Africa, if I'm not mistaken. Is it part of the Middle East or is it part of Africa? I don't know. I don't really know about those other continents, but well, my phone's at 20%. Yeah, I'm gonna have to end the live stream, man. This was a long ass live stream. I'm sure some troll is gonna review this and then they're gonna like clip it and they're gonna find something like, I don't know, maybe like me saying I ordered hookers and they're going to be like, look, Lil Blaisy orders hookers. And I'm just going to be like, I don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, I used to, whatever. I don't anymore. At least I'm not a simp who orders OnlyFans or goes on Twitch and gives some bitch some money. You know? Iraq and Iran are considered in Asia. Oh, that's odd. There's lots of countries in Asia. Yeah. I wouldn't mind the Philippines or Japan. Yeah, I'm going to have to end the live stream. My phone is dying. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. This was a long live stream. This is probably like one of my longest live streams ever on this channel. So yeah, chill out. Anyways, have a good day. Take care. Bye.